Hello, Andy.
Hi Warren, we're back at it again.
We are indeed, and we're back with part 2 of the Rock and Roll Dudes sessions. Like part 1, this podcast doesn't concentrate on the tracks that comprise the album. We're leaving that to our round tables, which will follow soon. Let's get straight into it. Side 2, track 1, Game's Up.
That song was called Game's Up. It's a bit of a glam, iconic song, I think, probably quite well known to non-Glitter Band fans. And it's a song that the Glitter Band performed live when on tour in Northern Ireland, Scotland and the Isle of Wight before the album was released. And to the best of our knowledge, it's never appeared in a set list since. In Mark Wall's sleeve notes for the Cherry Red CD reissue of a few years back, John Springate spoke about Game's Up.
Quoting John, Eddie Seago, Jerry and myself had worked on 4 versions of this song. It started life as Gonna Be With You Tonight, but Eddie, who was a great cricket fan and player, also used to shout Game's Up when in the studio. So we did a spoof version and we were surprised at how well it worked out. Certainly a possible single release, but Mike and Gary wouldn't agree to it.
But Mike Leander found another way to get Game's Up onto a 45 via another Bell Records act.
That was Hello, an act I'm sure just about everyone who's listening to this podcast is familiar with, and their Mike Leander produced version of Game's Up. Didn't chart in the UK, but it did make Record Mirror's Star Breakers. It also entered the German Top 40.
Yeah, so I've met people who, or talked to people who know this version, but not the Glitter Band one. I'm surprised that's where it originated. It's obviously quite a few years ago. Not a bad production. I think it sounds a bit different when I've listened to it, not on with the compression through the system here. You hear a bit more of the keyboards and a bit more guitar. I wouldn't say it's as good as Glitter Band's version.
I'd say it's a bit more glittery than the Glitter Band version, though in common with Hello's preceding single, which features the same arrangement as the Glitter Band's version of Tallinn, Mike's added some piano. Do you reckon Mike's Hello productions compared to the Glitter Band, do you reckon they may be slightly punkish or a little new wave-ish, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I think that's faster than the Glitter Band's version, which is good. Always a bit thin on the vocals and stuff, and thin on the guitar as well.
Yeah.
But had to be slightly different from the Glitter Band's version, obviously. And Hello sort of had their own sound.
I reckon their records are a bit more raucous.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more live sound. That version of Games Up is self-explanatory. Same music, same chorus, but the verses feature different lyrics.
Yeah, I'm glad they changed the lyrics.
Yeah.
Pretty lame in places, really. Well, would we be saying that if we hadn't heard the release version? I guess we probably would still be saying that. Yeah.
You might find this funny, Andy. I suspect the original verses lyrics are actually Jerry's, and Eddie Seago may have been involved in rewriting them. Eddie was basically a writer. I would think that as the Hello single was issued before Rock and Roll Dudes, maybe they were written specifically for the Hello version.
Love is fading, he left you waiting beneath the stars up above. So you come running to me with nothing but lies and leftover love. Kissing only because you're lonely is not what I'm thinking of. Need caressing, but I'm not messing with lies and leftover love. You know you gotta get over him, then you see how you feel. If you still want me, then I'll come back when love is for real.
You've just heard Leftover Love, the second Shepherd Springate Seago composition from the Rock and Roll Dude sessions. Unlike Games Up, this one didn't make the album. It was never released in any form.
Just trying to think whether I would have enjoyed that on the album. Sort of Buddy Holly-ish, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
In style. Maybe that's a reason for not putting it on, because it's too trad rock and roll like. I don't know. Quite a nice song.
One point about this song is, in part one of this series, we spoke about the difference between demos and incomplete tracks. I think this one fits into the second category. I'm certain it's Pete Phipps playing drums, whereas you've mentioned, Andy, some of the demos feature one band member playing everything, particularly some of Jerry's, don't they?
Yeah.
Where this one sounds like it was actually recorded for potential release. It's yet another track which I think would have made a terrific B-side. Clever lyrics, which I suspect may have come from Eddie Seago. In fact, I suspect they definitely did. And catchy melody. I would say, in Glitterband terms, that song's unique.
Yes, I guess so. I mean, it might have fitted on the Hey album if it had been composed and recorded earlier, maybe.
Yeah, that's the point.
We're finishing our Games Up section with possibly the most unusual track you'll hear here in this series of podcasts. A few minutes ago, you heard John Springate quoted as talking about a song called Gonna Be With You Tonight. So, some people will have heard this before, some possibly won't. Essentially, as you picked up, the verse and the lead into the chorus are pretty much exactly the same arrangement as they are in Games Up, but the chorus is quite different, to say the least. For me, I would have loved to have kept the chorus and added some new verse and stuff to it. What I particularly like also is that Jerry's singing the verses, and John comes in on his own, pretty much doing the chorus.
No, I agree.
Something they've done on a few of the other demos as well, and it works really well.
I think there are 3 in total, Andy, and it's a shame none of them were released.
Yeah, yeah.
The chorus is simple, but it sticks in your head. I guess one difference is the guitars are raw and powerful in this track, aren't they? Where the release version is a bit smoother. Like yourself, I'm surprised the chorus wasn't reworked into another song, but I suppose at the time Going to Be With You Tonight was written, the Glitter Band were moving towards slightly more refined material, such as Games Up. As much as I love that track, I would have been happy to hear Going to Be With You Tonight on the album instead. For me, it would have been a coin toss. Bring Her Back was the first Shepherd Springate composition to appear on an album, though another song of theirs, You Wouldn't Leave Me, Would You, was the B-side of Angel Face. Here's part of an earlier mix of Bring Her Back.
What can I say? Bring her back to me. Bring her back to me. Bring her back to me.
Okay, so comparing the two, obviously the second version is a vocal run through that would have probably been later, either re-recorded or mixed in a bit more seamlessly. I think the backing's exactly the same on both, but probably a bit more stereo spread on the actual album track itself. Yeah, for me, great song. Love it.
And Andy, I agree. It's similar to the album mix. I think another difference is on this version, the hand claps continue all the way through, where I think on the release version, they come in after the intro at some time. It's nice to hear a song finish because at the time of the Glitter Band, you'd never heard finishes. This was the time of the fade out. So it's nice to hear the song finish. I reckon it might be Tony playing on this track. The drumming just sounds a little different, but no evidence. Probably Pete, but I think it could be Tony. The next one is an educated guess. We think John Springate wrote it alone, and it may have come from the Rock and Roll Dudes sessions. No guarantees, but we'll play it anyway.
That song is called Don't Just Stand There. As Warren said, we've got no 100% guarantee that it was from the Rock and Roll Dudes sessions. We do a bit of detective work where we can, but there's always the chance that we're a little bit wrong on that. Originally, I thought it was from the sessions following Paris Match, but I pretty much reviewed that thought
It doesn't really sound
some while
like
ago.
It doesn't sound like it, Andy.
Well, it does, but
I don't know. I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
I think at the beginning it sounds. Oh, I'm going to say exactly what I've said before, and I hate doing this because I sound like a right lemon. But but
At least you didn't
it's
say Pillock.
Well, it's Pillock, yeah. Quite happy to say that. It starts like, I've said this thing before. It's like they're writing
TV themes.
songs for other bands or TV themes or something. It starts like that. Then it becomes a bit more prog rock.
Yeah, prog rock maybe in those production elements that come in.
Yeah, so...
but the lyrics aren't really prog rock, are they? They're pretty straightforward pop.
Oh, for sure, but they might have adapted if they would have gone any further with the song. Where the hell it would have fitted... Well, we know it wouldn't have fitted on Rock and Roll Dudes or a B-side or even listen to the band. So what they were recording it for is potentially to mark it somewhere else, perhaps. I don't know.
I don't think it's Pete or Tony on drums, but there is a count in. But they're just a bit looser. I don't think it's Pete or Tony. There's a count in at the start.
Pete can play quite loose. Yeah.
There's a count in at the start of the track that doesn't sound like Pete or Tony.
Well, maybe it was John.
Do you know what I have written here? Could it be John Springate?
Yeah.
Here's one you probably weren't expecting.
I'm so sorry, had to be this way. All my love gone in one day. The tears I cried for you are not the same as the tears you cried for me. It's a different game. The songs I sing for you, they never end. I write a million words, my love.
Although The Tears I Cried was released on single a week before Rock and Roll Dudes in the UK, it was not included on the album. But The Tears I Cried, a top 5 single in Australia, replaced Bring Her Back on the Australian, Israel and possibly New Zealand releases of Rock and Roll Dudes. Would Bring Her Back have been the track you would have replaced, Andy?
No, definitely not. I take the point that the reason that it didn't go on the album was because there were too many, singles on the album already, potentially. And
Yep.
putting another one would be a bit unfair to the record buying public. So it's just, it's just timing issues, isn't it, really? But it seemed odd for it not to be on the album, but it was probably the right thing to do. Listen to the Band came out quite quickly after Rock and Roll Dudes, so that saved the whole, continuity thing, I guess.
Yeah, but that was a bit strange, wasn't it? Because they included that single, yet the single after it, Love in the Sun, wasn't on Listen to the Band.
Well, yes.
Yeah, that was all very strange.
That was very peculiar.
When you first walked in, I was really aware of the bruise that showed where you dyed your hair. Believe it or not, you still got that grace. You still wear that makeup to hide up your face. Your image is fallen, believe that it's true. We still search through papers for pictures of you. The clothes that you're wearing, they don't really fit. You still sing the lyrics to your own hit. I still love you, the flame is still as bright. Although the candle's fading every night, I still love you, believe that it's true. I still got my pictures of you. Could you love me too? Could you love me too? Could you love me too?
Back to the Cherry Red CD. Here's what John Springate had to say about Pictures of You.
Boating John? Well, a great song, but it isn't quite what you think. Jerry wrote it the day after John Russell had left the band. His intentions were to get John to do the music, but had to ask Pete instead. It's not about Marilyn Monroe, as most people thought, and that's all I'm saying.
Pete and Jerry first came up with this demo, featuring Pete on piano.
1, 2, 3. When you first walked in, I was really aware of the roots that showed where you dyed your hair. Believe it or not, you still got that grace. You still wear that makeup to hide up your face. Your image has fallen, believe that it's true. They still search through papers for pictures of you. The clothes that you're wearing, they don't really fit. You still sing the lyrics to your only hit. I still love you, the flame is still as bright. Although the candle's fading every night, I still love you, believe that it's true. I still got my pictures of you. Could you love me too? Could you love me too? Could you love me too?
So I like both versions of that song very much. As with all things, Pete said really it was more of his song than Jerry's. So maybe Jerry had the lyrics, Pete had the song, vice versa. It doesn't really matter. Great song, very different, fitting from where they'd been as a band stylistically before. Can't recommend it to people to listen to enough, really.
I think it's great, like you. And it's another track that's a genuine demo. What's clear is that Pete and Jerry knew they were onto something with this song. They've put quite a lot of work into this recording. And is that some star guitar? Is that star guitar, Andy, or is it just a distorted, general, normal tuning?
I don't think it's star guitar necessarily. I'd have to listen to it again to answer that now, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have thought it was star guitar, but
It's
who knows?
look, it's a bit rawer because the release version, the guitar, everything's a bit smoother, obviously better recorded. But in terms of the overall structure of the song, it's not that different. There would have been no Glitter Band without Mark Lander, but by this stage in their career, he had a lot to work with. The next version of Pictures of You was the brainchild of one of the two people you're listening to at the moment. I'll give you a hint. It's not me.
Images falling, believe that it's true. They still search through papers for pictures of you. The clothes that you wear, they don't really fit. You still sing the lyrics to your only hit. I still love you, the flame is still as bright. Although the candle's fading every night, I still love you, believe that it's true. I've still got my pictures of you. Could you love me too? Could you love me too? Could you love me too?
Confession time, listeners. Warren's sprung these tracks on me previously, but I did know this one was coming today, so I'm not going to act and pretend I didn't know or anything like that. So that's been put together by me, essentially. And just wanted to show how great a song it was, even more stripped back.
Andy, I'm going to read from my notes for this track. Proof that Pictures of You is a very, very good song. So I agree with you. It's a great song, isn't it?
Thank you.
And a great version, a great song and a great version.
Yeah, it is a very good song.
And a very, 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 very good version. It really brings out the melody. Here's another cover version, released on 45 about the same time as Rock and Roll Dudes.
When you first walked in, I was really aware of the roots that showed where you dyed your hair. Believe it or not, you still got that grace. You still wear that makeup to hide up your face. Your image has fallen, believe that it's true. They still search through papers for pictures of you. Clothes that you're wearing, they don't really fit. You still sing the lyrics to your only hit. I still love you, the flame is still as bright. Though the candles burning every night. I still love you, believe that it's true. Still got my pictures of you. Did you love me too? Did you love me too? Did you love me too?
That somewhat lush version of Pictures of You was by a band or an entity called Phoenix, obviously, which was released a little while after the album had been released.
I think it was released on about the same day.
Was it? Okay. All right, I thought it was a bit later. No, I thought it was a bit later, but yeah, fair enough.
Well, this is hang on. Well, this is according to Discogs.
Ah,
You
yeah.
know, so yeah, I know, but I think there's a specific date. It doesn't just say April. It says something like the 4th of April. So I'm assuming that someone's got a date from somewhere, or otherwise they've just made it up. Sorry, Andy.
Yeah, not much more to say really. I mean, it's interesting. It's very lush, and at one point it reminded me of there's an album by the Osmonds called The Plan. There's parts of it that sounded a bit like that to me. Yeah, it's a bit hard to get used to it in that vein, to be honest with you. But again, the essence of the song is still there.
It's yet another Rock and Roll Dudes track that's been covered and released as a single, and there were quite a few of them. I agree with you, Andy, in terms of how it sounds, because to my ear, it's like some of the records I used to listen to on American Top 40, which was on radio here in the mid-70s. And I think it's got a bit of an American sound. Well, it's nothing like your version, so again, I suppose that's a sign of a good song. Eddie Seago, who was running the company publishing Glitterband songs, worked with Adrian Baker, so I'd guess he was behind placing the song. I read somewhere that Mike Lander played drums and Jerry played guitar on the track. I cannot believe that Mike played on the track. I would have thought Mike would have only played on tracks that he produced.
Don't know. I mean, I can hear Adrian Baker in backing vocals, certainly.
Yeah.
The vocalist was who? I can't remember now.
Alan Yates.
Yes, he was the lead vocals. But I
I've
can
got
hear
a-
Adrian Baker on the backing vocals.
And I've got an idea that Paul Da Vinci, who did the Sugar Baby Love vocals, on there too.
Oh, maybe so. Yeah, yeah.
I'm just unsure about. Maybe it is Mike playing drums, but don't know about that. And Jerry playing guitar. What do you think about that? Could be, I suppose.
Yeah, it's likely. I think. Yeah, I think that's likely. I think the question for me is: Does that production and everything, the OTT stuff, ruin the song? I'm still not decided on it. The song is still great, but does it actually spoil the appeal of the song?
I think it's a bit soulful. I think it's targeted at the American market.
Maybe so. Yeah, yeah.
Let's look at some reviews, and we've got, 4 or 5, Andy, I think, in total? Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the first one, which is from Record Mirror. Here's what Ray Fox Cummings had to say about the album. The first thing that strikes me about this LP is that it's already way out of date, with the last two singles, Goodbye My Love, included here, and The Tears I Cried not included. The band has shown that they can break away from their basic formula and come up with really good songs. Most of the tracks here, however, are written around the format of the band's early hits, and it makes for unvaried and eventually dull listening. Apart from Goodbye My Love, only 3 tracks stand out as being at all different. 2 of them, Write Me a Letter and All My Love, sound very much like early Beatles, only not as good, while the third, Pictures of You, is a real oddball with a likeable atmosphere all of its own. All in all, though, this is merely an epitaph to the early days with no shred of a hint of things to come. Andy, I think Jerry Shepherd, in an interview in Disc magazine, which was published about a month after that review, I think he had a bit to say about reviews such as the one we just read.
Yeah, so Jerry says, people think that the Glitter Band singles are very similar, but it's not the content, it's the sound. The sound is the same, the production is the same. People do get a bit confused there. They don't really listen. Any good song takes the time to get to like.
And I think that review from Record Mirror is actually quite fair, considering the fact that he would have had a whole lot of articles to write for each week's issue. He would have had a whole lot of reviews as well, and he would have listened to each song once at the most and probably didn't have time to get through the whole track.
Yeah, I think that the thing about the reviews is that, when somebody has listened, you maybe give them the benefit of the doubt that, they're open to it being good. But one listen doesn't tell you enough sometimes. But if it's somebody who was very anti-glam acts, very anti-glitter band, those sort of people that review, sort of have quite a disdain for those hacks, really.
I think there's that notorious gig review from NME where the reviewer managed to not mention one song. That's probably the highlight for me.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Here's one from NME. This review, I should say, is a bit confusing. It combines it with the Rubettes album, so I'll just pick a few bits out of it. And I warn you, it's NME. The primary merit of this album is that the band don't really attempt anything, so they therefore don't really screw up. Their polite, pre-digested milkshake sound is so perfectly uniform throughout that you find that when the record's finished, you can't remember anything about it, goodies and baddies. From this album, it's hard to imagine the Glitter Band doing anything else but clocking into the studio and going through the paces laid down by producer Mike Lander on the count of 4. So at least NME are consistent. In common with their gig review, they haven't mentioned one song.
No.
The good news is we have one from Disc magazine where the reviewer, I think, did listen.
So the writer, LG, once in a long time ago, I knew the names of some of these people. And they say, Rock and Roll Dudes leaves no doubt that Mike Leander knows this project inside out. The execution of the Glitter Band sound never flounders for a moment. Excitement suffers no flaws. The fuzzy lead guitar is crisp and expertly mixed against the punchy lead vocals. Drums are incredibly punctual thuds in the designed glitter style, and the whole concept is still delightfully revamped 50s, 60s high school hop. The most innovative unit is the track Bring Her Back, with tight vocals by John Springate and an amazing scratch to Leonard Phipps' disciplined drum sound. The recording is so out in front it punches you in the face. Best lyrics are contained in Pictures of You and Games Up, both of which have a distinct point and a clever rhythmic fit. 3 tracks owe credit to ex-member John Russell, but nothing suffers on the others in any way. The LP is a total entity, beautifully made in their thumping tradition. The calculated guitar work is almost ghostly, while the percussion is fully below the belt, practically illegal in terms of studio use, impossible to refuse at a party. If Bring Her Back isn't released as a single, there's no justice. Well,
you'd be happy with that one, Andy, with the last bit.
Yeah.
Well, that person has done 2 things. They've listened to the album and they've read the sleeve notes with the JR reference.
Yeah.
This one is interesting because this is contemporary and you can find this on the internet. It's by Louder Than War, and I think we've got a few listeners. I know Joe Swinford, who is part of our round table group. Joe knows the people behind Louder Than War. This is 10 years old. It's written by Ian Canty, and I think he might have been reviewing the box set or something like that. And what he has to say is, setting aside the rather embarrassing sleeve photo, this record is no holds-barred glam gold, but mindful of the fleeting trends, is riveted together with strong songs rather than the 50s retread of most glam pretenders' efforts, including their previous offering. Goodbye My Love was the cherry on the cake, a truly great single and possibly their defining moment, but there is plenty here of note besides. If, say, Do You Remember knocks everything good about the first LP into a 3-minute song, I Can't Stop takes things a step further into hard rock territory. Would you say quite hard rock, Andy?
Not in the sense of froggy
No.
hard rock, no.
Yeah, no. Maybe hard
pop.
pop, possibly, if such a thing. Hard pop. Well, I think we've invented a new genre there. Hard pop. And even the standard slowy number, Write Me a Letter, has a requisite bounce. Whether it is the boot-stomping, hand-clapping mayhem of Bring Her Back, got another mention, Andy, or the quo-like All My Love, they never let up, and it's all crowned by the full-on attitude of Games Up. It's a great LP and stands up well even today. So the key thing about this is that this reviewer has made the point that it's a different album in relation to what their peers were doing, because at that time their peers were putting plenty of cover versions on their LPs, and of course, as we know, the likes of Mud, the Bay City Rollers, Rubettes, etc., with the odd exception, generally didn't write their own singles. It's a great review.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, obviously, even with the sort of Hit Factory, professional songwriter teams that those bands had, they could not, provide enough songs for their artists for their albums. So that's why they had to rely on,
Yeah, in this case, we've got a band who it appears had about 30 songs in contention for the album, or 30 song fragments, which of course is what this podcast is all about.
According to the Cherry Red sleeve notes, that song that we've just heard, Do You Remember, it involves some quite long and lengthy discussions, and it was decided that it would be used for the band's next single, only for it to be changed at the 11th hour for the other song that stands out for me on the album, For Always and Never. Now, we know that both were eventually passed over for Let's Get Together Again, which is a big hit, but there's one more. The Russell Shepard composition, You Know You Should Be Glad. We know from Jerry Shepard's publishing notes, and thank you to Claire Shepard for making those available for us all, that You Know You Should Be Glad was published at about the same time as Let's Get Together Again. But it does sound like it might have been a better fit on the Hey album rather than Rock and Roll Dudes.
Lights were
Okay, so as we've mentioned, that song was called "You Know You Should Be Glad," and that's a demo. Yeah, for me, I like the song a lot. It is a bit less sophisticated in some respects than some of the other demos. Just very very straightforward song, I think. Oh yeah. So, although I like it, I can see why maybe it was passed over for the other tracks. It's fast enough. It's quite a well recorded demo, I'd say.
Andy, I think rather than a demo, I think that's probably the basis for a completed track.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah,
I think. You mentioned the Oh Yeahs.
yeah.
I think you get a few of those in some of Jerry's unreleased recordings. So I think Mike.
Oh yeah. He used to do it live. He used to go, oh yeah.
I reckon Mike must have got rid of them all. Look, I agree with you, Andy. I think it is a basic song, and you can see why it was passed over. If it was to be released, obviously there would have been some brass overdubs, and I think there would have been some general cleanups. There are some pretty rough edits in there. It gives you a little bit of an insight into how Mike worked, because you can hear bits where you think, oh, that would be neatened up a bit.
So that's an alternative version of "Do You Remember?" Yeah, it's just I don't know what to say about it really. What can I say?
I guess what's interesting about it, Andy, is that again sounds like it was recorded at Mayfair Studios. It's got that sort of, I guess, John Hudson sound about it, and I think Mike's probably been involved in the mixing of that, so it's not a separate demo. And I guess I can't think of this will be wrong. I can't think of another Glitterband track that's recorded in that fashion and then re-recorded and the track changed a bit.
Yeah.
All the other ones, I reckon, are demos. Like, for example, for Always and Ever. I mean, that's obviously a demo, and that was redone and changed around a bit. That's what I think. That's what's unusual about that track, maybe.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe so. Yeah.
I prefer this version to the release track for one reason. The pre-chorus call and response section, where Jerry holds on to the remember note and the backing vocals do the same in kind. Does that make sense to you, Andy? That statement?
Yeah.
It does. I like that. I really like that. I like the release version as well. Here's a live one.
that live version was recorded in Oldham in 2015. They'd done the song a very small handful of times before that. First time I heard them do it was, I think, in Cambridge at a birthday party gig, which was the first time they did it. This might have been done 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 gigs after that. So again, like I've said before, it's really great that these tracks have been getting an outing.
Definitely.
You know, having not been played since 1975, and in some cases not even being played in 75.
Yep.
So
Yeah, this one
it's
wasn't.
the right thing. No, it's just the right thing that these bands are coming back into the set.
Is that the same gig where they were supported by Richard Kenner's band?
No, this is the year after.
If you do a search for Do You Remember the Glitter Band live 2015 on YouTube, obviously, you can see and hear the whole clip. I suspect this performance wasn't overly rehearsed. Andy, what's really interesting, now you said they've done this 2 or 3 times before. Is that
Yeah.
right? Right. Because, well, that's not that many times. If you watch the video...
No, but if there's 6 months between gigs, you know, if at that time they had very few gigs, you know, that makes up.
And but the point I'm about to make is that watching John Springate, he seems to instinctively know the lyrics.
Oh yeah,
And it's a song that they never did in 1975 and hadn't done. Well, to the best of our knowledge, they hadn't done it for how many years have we got there? 25. It appears they hadn't done that song for 40 years.
yeah.
So that's
But he puts his, you know, he
puts the work
he
in.
puts his work in, and you know,
But you watch his performance, it just seems to flow naturally. You know,
Yeah,
like he's
it
not
does,
he's
yeah.
not searching for the words. He knows them. That's just pretty incredible, I reckon. Another thing about that song that's impressive is I reckon Eddie Spence earned his money because he plays sax, keyboards, and backing vocals.
Mhm.
And one more thing I'd like to say about this, and you need to see it on YouTube, the band really seem to be enjoying themselves.
yes, yeah.
It's tough for us to keep on being alone. You want me all on my own. More than enough. Any man can see it just taking you home when he gets you alone. Please listen to me before it's too late. Don't go on doing it. You turn our love right into hate. You're trying. You're trying, you're trying, you're trying too hard. You're lying, you're lying, you're lying. You think that you're smart.
According to John Springate, one of Harvey's songs, and a good one too. John said Harvey had a knack of writing good songs, he just didn't do it too often. Andy, I'm not sure where or when, but John has spoken of Harvey turning up with songs right at the end of album recording sessions.
Yeah.
Which probably makes sense, because as you've mentioned, the core recording members were Pete Phipps, Jerry, and John Springate, and they lived in London.
And Mike.
Didn't they? And Mike, yeah, but they were in London.
Yeah.
They were in London.
Yeah.
So it appears they'd put the basic tracks down, then Harvey would come down to London or maybe go over to Paris and then do his overdubs and his song contributions.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there were times when they might have finished something in London and gone into the studio, you know, the 4 of them. I seen without Tony, sometimes with Tony, I guess, being there, but Pete had probably done all the work by then. But generally, yeah, probably Harvey would turn up at the very end to do his bits and say, oh, I've got a song, by the way. That's what I take to be the case. Like all of the other songs that ended up on the album, Warren and I are going to talk about this particular song with our roundtable guests in the next episode of Shout It Out. It is unfortunate we don't have any other unreleased Harvey Ellison songs, even outside of Glitter Band, really.
No, nothing.
Unfortunately, they've never come to light. So we are going to unfortunately have to just move on to another track from the Rock and Roll Dude sessions that Jerry composed with Eddie Seago. that song was called I'm Holding On. It's a song I like, although it's obviously, a demo, and it's not, voices aren't blended in and widened as much as you like, and the guitar's a bit
All a bit
dull.
bit basic, the whole thing, really.
Yeah, but it's a nice bouncy song.
I'm a bit surprised that this one is co-credited to Eddie Seago, as the lyrics don't jump out as being his. But we'll take the publishing credits word for it. But it's a bit of an odd one. But anyway, Eddie gets his credit, so that's all good. Well, maybe not so good because it was never released, so he didn't get any money. The song appears to be lightweight, but I reckon that's a demo-induced deception, which is exactly the same thing as what you've just said, Andy. Musically, it's bare bones, drums, bass, and one guitar part. Jerry had been mainly writing with John Rossell at this stage, so it's interesting to hear a track where he's probably solely written the music. It's a little softer, something that Jerry mentioned in forthcoming interviews, compared to the stuff that he was writing with JR. Here's a quick quiz question, Andy, but you're ineligible. Jerry reused part of this song's music in the Glitter Band singles chorus. Which one? The next track doesn't sound like it's come from the Rock and Roll Dude sessions, but it was published about 4 months before the album was released.
That was just a little bit of a song called Just a Little Bit. See what I did there?
Nice work.
So that's another demo from those sessions. Again, straying just slightly.
I think that one was written by Jerry alone, Andy.
Yes, I think so, yeah. For me, it's a bit more of that reggae pop style. That probably was, for me, and then come to this later, missing from the album. Obviously, we got a bit of a reggae sort of song on Listen to the Band, but this sort of reggae pop style thing, I think, would have been a good addition. And yeah, it's a song I like. It's jolly, and with a bit more work, I probably would have taken off the style guitar and just used some slidey normal guitar and stuff. Could have been a good contender for me.
Maybe Jerry's idea was to put star guitar on there, on the demo, and say to Mike, hey Mike, this will fit in, it's got star guitar on it.
Maybe.
It's quite a sophisticated recording. It's obviously Pete playing drums, there's a couple of guitar parts, and it may even be John Springate playing bass, because I think there's some pretty nice bass playing on that, so it probably is. And this is similar to what you just said. I think this song bridges the gap between Rock and Roll Dudes and Listen to the Band. But I think, as you just said, Andy, there was a reggae song, Let Me Love You, on Listen to the Band. So maybe this, could have been one too many. The first single, but the last track on the album.
Dream of a time when we would meet again. It's very hard now, you're not mine. Your phone's right next to you, and you know just what to do. Just pick it up and call my name. Let's get together again. All you need is here to stay. Let's get together again.
Okay, for the sake of completeness, obviously we have to include a song that's very familiar. We've done our podcast on this song already, so we're not going to discuss it here really. But obviously this had to be on this particular album. And also we're going to play you a snatch of its B-side, Jukebox Queen.
As she walked onto the floor, I was headed toward the door. When I stopped, she caught my eye. She could boogie, she could fly. And you know that she's only 16. I'm gonna make her my jukebox queen. And you know that she's only 16. I'm gonna make her.
We haven't quite run out of unreleased tracks. We have a couple more. This one was demoed in Australia at the same time as Let's Get Together Again and Jukebox Queen, but it didn't get any further. We didn't discuss the Springate Russell composition All Right Baby in our Let's Get Together Again podcast, so we'll do so after this clip.
But it's alright, baby, gonna see you tonight. Gonna find out the answer, was I wrong, was I right? Yes, it's alright, baby, gonna see you tonight. Gonna find out the answer, was I wrong, was I right? I knew when I met you, I knew from the start, you'd be the one who would tear me apart. Everyone told me that I'd be a fool, but I wouldn't listen, I played it so cool. They said I would soon get hurt, because you were a run-around flirt. But it's alright, baby, gonna see you tonight. Gonna find out the answer, was I wrong, was I right? Yes, it's alright, baby, gonna see you tonight. Gonna find out the
Okay, yeah, so that demo was called All Right Baby. Again, you know, it's kept in that glitter vein. It's probably a bit more twee, this one. Like I said about, you know, You Should Be Glad. It's quite straightforward. It's either got a strange edit in it or a very strange drop down in the guitar chords. Yeah, I mean, for those of us that like our glitter numbers, it's just nice to have another one. But you know, it would never have made the album.
JR described All Right Baby as not one of our best, and I think we're inclined to agree. And this is similar to what you just said, Andy. I think it's a bit like the Glitter Band by numbers, but I reckon it would have been. I think it would have been okay as a B-side for Let's Get Together Again, though I can see why the band or Mike or both decided to go with Jukebox Queen. As the band were together in Australia when this track was recorded, it's one of the rare Glitter Band demos featuring all band members, maybe with the exception of Tony, but he could be on drums. One to go.
That's a Shepherd Springate composition called It's Never Too Late to Say You're Sorry. I really like this song, I have to say. Very, very endearing song. Would have liked to have heard this somewhere on a B-side or whatever if they've had more singles out. Not far off from being finished, I don't think. Just a bit of spice, a bit of a sparkle and what have you would have been a good track.
Oh, look, I agree. And I would have loved to hear a finished version of this of the album.
Yeah.
I'll guess and say this is from the Morgan Studios sessions that I think John Springate spoke about, which we mentioned in our previous episode, because it doesn't quite sound like it was done at Mayfair Studios with John Hudson engineering, but it sounds okay, yeah. Why this demo wasn't re-recorded and released is like answering another question. How long is a piece of string? Because I don't think there's an answer. I think it's great. It would probably make my glitter band top 10, but if not, definitely my top 20. And as Andy just indicated, musically and lyrically, the song seems to be complete. I think the pre-chorus is terrific. I guess if it was re-recorded for the album, there would have been some sax added and maybe some slightly thicker backing vocals. And a big thank you to Leslie Mackenzie, who co-administers the Derry Shepherd Appreciation Society Facebook site, for pointing out that part of this song's melody was to make a reappearance in a song on a future Glitterband album. If you can't pick it, stay tuned. All will be revealed in a future podcast.
Yeah, I think when you've got Bring Her Back, Do You Remember, Games Up, and For Always and Ever on the album, you know, this one was the one not to make it, really. I mean, how many of those songs do you want on there?
I'd substitute that for two of those.
Well, yeah, maybe so in hindsight. At the time, somebody had to make the decision.
Almost there. If you've listened to these two podcasts, you'd realise there were a lot of good songs that couldn't fit onto what was, at the time, the standard Bell Records 12-track LP. We couldn't help ourselves, so we're finishing with our track list for, wait for this, Rock and Roll Dudes, the double album. Let's start with me, and I've got 24 tracks. Side 1, track 1, Gonna Be With You Tonight. Track 2, Sweet Baby Blue. Track 3, I Can't Stop. Track 4, I'm Holding On. Track 5, Leftover Love. Track 6, The Tears I Cried. And I should have mentioned that although we haven't covered The Tears I Cried in this podcast, it was released about a week before the album, so I guess cheated, but I've chucked it in. Side 2, track 1, Do You Remember? Track 2, It's Never Too Late to Say You're Sorry. Track 3, Why Not Me, Why Not You? Track 4, All My Love. Track 5, Until Tomorrow. Track 6, You Know You Should Be Glad. And I should explain with that, I think You Know You Should Be Glad could only sort of fit if the rough edges were all smoothed out, and it ended up sounding, in a production sense, more like Do You Remember? So a smoother version of that. Side 3, For Always Never. Track 2, When You're Ready. Track 3, Write Me a Letter. Track 4, Bring Her Back. Track 5, Go Back to Her. Track 6, Let's Get Together Again. Games Up. And I know that shared part of its melody with the first track, but I reckon as a double album you could actually get Games Up in as well. So that's the first track on side 4. Track 2, You're Trying Too Hard. Track 3, Pictures of You. Track 4, All Right Tonight. Track 5, Jukebox Queen. Track 6, Goodbye My Love. And an honourable mention to Just a Little Bit. And I just found stylistically it'd just be, even with a double album, I think it'd be difficult to fit it in, but I really like the song. Andy.
Okay. I couldn't do an organised double album like you have. All I can tell you is initially what I would have included and what I wouldn't, and probably explain why. And not in any particular order. But, you know, I've tried to think about this transition from where they were with Hey Album and the first 3 singles to having had Goodbye My Love out, and B-sides and stuff. I couldn't include The Tears I Cried because it would just been one single too many.
On a double album, though?
Yeah, but I was just thinking of knock-on effect on listen to the band, really.
Yeah, but see, I don't think it fits on Listen to the Band, Andy. It just, I think it sounds out of place.
Okay. The reason I didn't put it into 4 sides, I wasn't really that sure whether to split what I'd call a sort of glitter type number album from a non-glitter band album. Do you know what I mean? The non-glitter sound.
Oh, I know. Exactly.
I was tempted to do that, and I thought, no, it's not a market. I was thinking from the point of view of marketing, etc., and what would be played. What you've done is better because
I think both arguments are valid, to be honest. But go on.
Yeah, it goes light shade, light shade, light shade. Not good, bad, too bad, but that's what it happens. But so the tracks I would have included are "Go Back to Her" because I think it's a good pop song. "When You're Ready," maybe change of lyrics in a few places there, just a little bit. I think the reggae pop song on that album would have been absolutely ideal. When you look at the variation with "Sweet Baby Blue," "All My Love" and stuff, it would have just been a nice little tickle to show that versatility. I would have had "It's Never Too Late to Say You're Sorry." I've said this in the podcast before. I would have written a new verse for "Gonna Be With You Tonight" and put that on.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
I would have done a bit of work on "Why Not Me, Why Not You," perhaps, try and sparkle that up a bit. "I'm Holding On," I would have probably changed or improved the guitar tone on that. I wouldn't have had any sax on it. Sorry, sax fans, but I wouldn't. But I've made that sort of bit more rough guitar sound to that. So I've pushed aside You Should Be Glad, "It's All Right Baby," "All Right Tonight," just because the first couple I think are a bit too straightforward, a bit less sophisticated, and I probably wouldn't have spent time developing those. So the only other song I would have included, it's not something we've covered today actually, so this is a bit left of field, is a song called "She's the One You Love."
Great song.
Which I would have said if you had Springy singing underneath Jerry all the way through, not just like a bit on the chorus like he's done, just the two of them singing it together, a bit of sparkle on it, a bit more acoustic guitar, it would have been another sort of Beatlesque filler, as it were. So that's probably the only other one I would have chosen for the album. A couple of other things that I really sort of battled with, but that's as far as I would go. So obviously that essentially makes it a 19/20 track album.
Gee, it's a good album, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah, so for me, when I got it after Hey,
Yep.
look, I loved and still love the glitter sound. I hold it in reverence is the wrong word. However, for me, I found it a lot more interesting and depth to get an album like this that showed that glitter sound. And like I've said before, the quality of the guitar in For Always and Never really stood out much better than any guitar on Hey.
That's a great sounding track. I think one thing's clear. We know this. They spent a lot more time recording those tracks and mixing them than Hey. There's no doubt about that. And they tend to be, if you like, recorded and mixed according to the song, where Hey, they had to fit into that style, didn't they?
Yeah. Jerry's perfected the playing of the star guitar.
Well, it's sort of modified. It's different to Mike's.
Yeah, he started, using a bit of SG and probably changed the pickups and all sorts of things. And
But also his way of playing, Andy, it's a bit smooth. It's just, I think it's more musical. And after all, to be fair, Jerry's a guitarist. Mike was someone that was a means to an end with Mike.
Yeah, he made the star guitar sing better.
Yeah,
and you can hear that coming through on that album. As much as I love the glitter sound, and I would never have wanted to lose that in my mind at that time, I love the fact that you had some more eclectic types of song, vocal style, better production, and everything that we were given with this album. People hold up Hey as their pinnacle of the band and the 6-piece lineup and everything. Just my opinion, this is far, far superior. It's better songwriting, better recording and playing, better production, and Yeah.
We're finishing with one of our favourites. It's the full version of the short clip we've just played, Never Too Late to Say You're Sorry. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Warren. Looking forward to the next one.
So do I.
You must think I'm fooling. I realize you've been telling me those lies. I saw you late last night. I saw that guy. There must be a reason why. I saw you holding, you saw me kissing. Now we're together, you know that we gotta say it's never too late to say you're sorry. It's never too late to make your dreams come. It's never too late to say you're sorry. I'm sorry too. Now there is no reason to play these games. Sunshine always follows rain. Now I am so happy, my love is true. I will go on loving you. I'll always love you. I'll always need you. We'll take a vow now. If it happens once again, it's never too late to say you're sorry. It's never too late to make your dreams come. Never too late to say you're sorry. I'm sorry too. I will always love you. Please say you will always be true too. I love you. It's never too late to say you're sorry. It's never too late to make your dreams come. Never too late to say you're sorry. I'm sorry too. It's never too late to say you're sorry. It's never too late to make your dreams come.
So yeah, I would, Pete. No, because my concern with Pete was that if he says yes, I want to do it in the next couple of days, and we've got the, will you guarantee he won't do that? Right, I'll send him a message straight away. Good. That